Hey, hello YouTubers. Here we are out in the, I'm gonna dip my gloves. Hang on a second here. Beep. I'm back. Here working on the 2003 Silverado. I'm gonna put shocks in it. And it's funny, I ordered these Monroe shocks. Here they are. Monroe Medics. Yeah. From, and there's a number on there. Okay. I ordered 2 shocks from Amazon. I got 1 shock one day, and I was thinking, I opened the box and I'm thinking, there's only 1 shock in here. And I'm thinking, so I go up and check my account, make sure I ordered 2, and then I see the other one's coming the next day. Why they didn't put 2 of them in the same box? Maybe they only had 1 left. So let's move forward here. On the shock, and I'm going to go take this thing off. Sometimes when you go to back out this bolt, this whole thing will spin. And it'll keep you from taking this off. See, it spins. So what I did is if I can zoom in a little bit there. Let's move this up. I'll get you set up there so you can see what's going on. I locked a vice grip on the bottom part of that shock deal. So that vice grip is locked here. So when I go out there and run my air hammer, zip that bolt off, which I've been lubricating for like a week now, putting some WD-40 on it every day for a while. There's the bolt. Well, let's back it off. We'll see if that vice grip spins a little bit, but okay, here we go. See if it's going to zip off in a nice way, or it's going to be a pain in the backside. Sure, going in the removing direction. I am in tighty. Alright. Hopefully my noisy compressor doesn't kick on. Surprising enough, that compressor's quieter than my old one. Not by much, though. Okay. There's the bolt. I don't know if this thing moved or I just actually had it locked in the right place. So let's back you up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go down below. And we've got a couple bolts on the very bottom here. You really can't see those. I don't know if you can see those from... Nah, you're not going to be able to see them. You're just going to have to kind of go along with me. I'll back you up a little bit. Let's see what size those are. Got jack stands and everything up on this. Got the wheels all locked. See if we can't get these off. Spray these up before I set the camera up. There is some lubricant on them. Dang it. Right. Oh! Oh, that's good. You saw it right here on YouTube. Oh! Good thing just flew right out of there. Wow. Woo. Well, probably fell out because I had it locked. I wouldn't have done that if I would have had this unlocked. Would have fell out just like that. Now I made a mess. Usually they don't do that if you unlock them. Well, now you can see the piston deal. That's the shaft that goes inside this. And I wonder if these were Monroes. Say Monroe? It says something here. P2541A. Is that what this is? Nope. Made in USA. Another name. Huh. Do not heat. Another number of 59599. So I don't know what this. It's kind of yellow. Looks like it should be a Monroe shock. You let me shut this off while I go get some floor dry. Okay, we're recording. Oh, hang on. Dead battery. Hope I didn't lose that last footage. Okay, we're back. Hope I didn't lose that footage. Note to self, take vice grips off before taking the lower bolts off so you don't make a mess. Yeah, I made a mess over everything here. And put my floor dry back down here. This is absorbing all the fluid from the shock absorber. Well, you can't really tell. There's no fluid left in this thing, but the front end was pretty bouncy. I hit it with some brake clean to kind of clean up the mess. So let's get this other shock back up in there. Yeah. Get all the fun bits and pieces. First thing I learned about doing shocks is to make sure you jack it up high enough, because you've got to get all this up and out from underneath to get it out. First time I did it, I didn't jack it up far enough, and I got the shock down and I couldn't get it out from up in this cavity, up in between the springs and up to the lower swing arm. So make sure you do that. Okay. Oh, this goes up. Oh yeah, okay. I'll try to remember that. Alright, see how this goes up in there, if I got enough room or not. Hey, I do. Stretch that out a little bit. It's a long time since I put just a regular shock. Old school shock absorber. In anything. This is not being easy. Why is this not being easy? Come on. Fit up in there. Get up in there. Let's go. Okay, let's go. This is not the right size with scoots. Oh yeah. This, the bottom pad. Trying to get that bolt in there. Flatten out this bottom. Move this bottom pad a little bit. Okay. Let's try this again. Through the hole. the other one started. Zip them up. Alright. See if we got enough. Up in the compressor to zip it up there. Oh! Hang on here. Alright, it's torqued. So, we're going to, here's this here. There. Yeah, it goes like that. Okay. So I have a jack stand underneath here. I'm going to jack this. I have a jack stand and the floor jack weight on both. Never trust a floor jack that it's going to save your life. I kid you not, I've been in shops where I've seen a guy jack up a car and go underneath it without a jack stand. That's stupid. Put something under there, a tire, whatever. You know, it's a mistake you only make once when the car crushes you. So always put jack stand. And I have both my wheels, both sides of my wheels, I have bricks on them to hold them in place. To keep it from moving. So be careful when you're doing this stuff. Safety first, always. Okay, we're going to let this down slowly. Hopefully it'll come down slowly. One did come down kind of fast that time. Come on. You see that? Pushed it right up into place. And a little weight on that. Okay. Now it pushed it right up into place. And we can put the there's a little lip right here. I got my glove in the way. See that? Ah. See there's a little lip there? So, gotta move the shock around a little bit. There's a hole, a bigger hole in the shock. So this gotta fit down on there. So, we're gonna be, if you see me pulling around on this base of the shock, it's to get it in that hole. There we go. It's in that hole. I would say this is, well, get down there and get it started. Somebody just go up on top, zip it down a little bit. Don't want to go too crazy on it. Just want to make sure it's going to stay in that hole. Okay. I'm going to go up top and zip it down a little bit. I never did see if that was the same size. It might not be. I didn't round it out. No, it's not the same size. One size smaller. Let's see. Zip in on what I'm doing here. There you go. Yep. Yeah. It better happens to work better if you use the correct socket. Thought that was spinning a little fast. Come on, get on there. There you go, a little better. Just a little bit, get her tight. I'm knocking all kinds of crap around here. Okay, yeah, smushed it out a little bit. There we go. Sprays a little bit more brake clean in this. Let me back this up a bit. So that's it. Pretty much put the shock on. Clean up my mess a little bit, and on the other side I'll make sure I take the vice grip off before I take the two bottom bolts off, so it drops right straight down. It's all looking good up front here. Looks like Dan put new brakes on it, and getting it all taken care of. I need to paint one of these wheels. I think it's that back one. It's probably the rustiest. I might just end up priming it up this year if I get that done. Getting this other stuff done to me is more important. So we're going to do up the other side, and I'm not going to tape that one. So I don't know what else I'm going to put on this tape. I'll think about that. And I've got the rear differential and rear shocks to do yet. I figure that's when I pull the wheels off the back. I'll do that video too. I'll have to see how much I have. The last one I did was almost like an hour long. And I should have broke that one up into 2 videos, like a half hour. Hour seems to get kind of long. So we'll have to see how many minutes I have already in the bank on this one. That's stuff that you haven't seen. So we'll see you later, and you guys have a good weekend. Alright, bye. Yeah, before I put this wheel on, I just cleaned it up a little bit more with some brake clean. And I wanted to show you what I call the squish. You see how thin this is? This is what the rubber was like before I tightened this nut up. So that should be about the right size. I call it the squish. You don't want it to be any thinner than that. You want just to be holding it really good, and you can tell the difference. You do spread that out quite a bit, but don't get too crazy when you're tightening this up, because what happens is you get them too tight, then this thing will split, then this thing will just bobble up, and you'll hear this thing thumping in your front end, and your shock is loose because you got all crazy with it. I don't know, we can't even see the one underneath. Feel the one underneath, and it's about the same. Yeah, so wanted to shoot that before I forgot. Alright, see ya. Bye. Yeah, you know, I finished the one side of the here, and I got the shock absorber on. I thought, well, you know, the other side should be okay. So I got over here and zipped off the nut on the top of the stud on the top of the shock. Remember to take the vice grip off this time. Took the vice grip off. Took the one bolt down from underneath the A-arm. That one came out. Came out. Second one broke off. It's like, so I was like, oh great. So I tried to heat it up with my map torch. There's a bolt that's on the inside of the A-arm. It's welded from the factory, tack welded on there, and I tried to heat that up, and then I got a smaller vice grip to see if I couldn't loosen the stud that was still sticking out. There was probably about this much sticking out of the top that I could get a vice grip on, and I couldn't get it. So I had to get in there with my cutting torch or the fire wrench, cut the top of this off. Then I had to crawl underneath and blow a hole up through the nut that was still there with the broken piece into it, and then I was able to knock the broken piece out. And I drilled it out to a 5/16, and then I went and bought one of these. It's 8 hard bolt, 2 inches long, 5/16. Got some washers, lock washer, nut, and everything. So I got the shock up in there. Got this bolt started got the nut started underneath, got the slid in. I go to start the other bolt. Is it still over here? Yeah, here it is. Got the other bolt started up there, and I had my ratchet, so I just figured I'll just ratchet this in because I had to get a wrench on top of this to hold it down into where the coil is, into the lower control arm. I had to hold the top of it so the bottom, so it wouldn't spin. So I go tighten this on with the ratchet. And all of a sudden, beep, it grabbed threads for about a few seconds and stopped. And I'm looking at this bolt, and it's just so rusted out. So this thing was probably hanging in there by 2 or 3 threads, and the old shock absorber was held in by the one that I snapped off. So basically, it was held in by one bolt. So then I went back to Ace Hardware. I got another bolt, but I noticed when I had this one down, I'll take this all down here for you. This is one thing you can see where it's smooth and then the threads start. Well, when I slid this down, where I had the washer on top of it, so the washer's sitting on top of the nut that's already welded in there, and it sticks out this far from under the control arm, just about the same thickness as this. So I don't know if I would tighten this up, whether the nut would stop here. You get what I'm saying? It would stop and I wouldn't be able to tighten up. So I picked up a couple extra washers so I could set this farther down the threads. So when it tightens up, it'll tighten up farther down the threads before it hits the smooth stop, so I could tighten it up. So I guess it's maybe a good thing I had to go over there twice, because if I might have tightened this thing up, and it would have bottomed out here at the end of the threads, and then the whole shock, this part of the shock would have still been loose because I wouldn't have had it tight enough. So I just thought I'd shoot this video. You just never know what you're going to get into until you get into it. I could have thought I had a bunch of other stuff I probably would have done this last hour and a half it took me to figure out this thing, but it's what happens sometimes. Makes your life interesting. I could go without my life being interesting. Alright, just thought I would fill you in on all the fun that I'm having today. Alright, bye.